People tend to think of employment as a key component of life nowadays. It gives people a sense of purpose, gives them a sense of inclusion. And employment has always been an interesting area with lots of services, but they haven't always worked well for people living with mental illness. So as a group, we decided to have a look at what works and what doesn't, and to try to design a better solution that everyone can access.
So the Skillness program has three components to it. The first part is the breakfast series, the second part is the Skillness program or the Skillness group, and then the third part was the community mental health hub that we held to engage in the community.
Businesses were able to spend time actually thinking about how they could incorporate mental illness and mental health practices into the workplaces. Businesses were quite surprised by the ideas that were put forward, and a lot took on board the messages that were being made. There was definitely a buzz with businesses at the breakfast series. They were all very interested in learning more about practices that they can implement in their workplaces to not just employ people with mental illness, but also improve the mental health of people that are currently working there with or without diagnoses. The Skillness program is instilling a bit of confidence in people with mental illness who've had difficulties and hit barriers toward finding employment for themselves and other vocational outcomes like education. It's given them an opportunity to connect with referral sources like ourselves to be able to access those opportunities for themselves.
The whole project was driven by three values: confidence, permission and belief. A lot of the issues systemically and historically were around people in various positions or roles not having that sort of confidence or permission to do things differently. So for businesses, they needed the confidence that they could actually support people living with mental illness. They needed permission from their management teams and HR teams to actually put supports in place. For people living with mental illness, they didn't always feel like they had permission to apply for the roles or that they had the confidence to do them. And then of course for the community, I mean, if you don't have the community embracing and believing things in stigma rules, then it's hard to make progress in any sense. So this project was a bit unique in the fact that we actually looked at existing problems, but we threw out all the existing solutions to start with. So we went back right to the values that were important and underpinning what everyone was trying to do, and then we built from that.
So having a program like this was really engaged in making sure that we engage in the community and what's actually needed, and what is the public stigma in our community. What is it that they understand about mental health and working? It means that local businesses and community businesses are more aware of mental health and will be encouraged to employ people with mental health issues to actually see that it is a skill.
I think a mental health issue is not a block at all. It's just something you've got to work with. We talked about this in Skillness too. We all kind of wrote down our dream jobs and stuff. I love fishing. I'm like third generation fisherman. Well, I've already got a fishing therapy group from Skillness. We came up with it in Skillness, and it's good if you can work in a place that you always wanted to work, but maybe thought you couldn't because of your illness. On top of that is that it's good for your health as well, your mental health, doing something that you love doing and not just something that people say that you can't do. Learning heaps of new things. A lot of people came in and out, like from Nova and projects. Some even got an internship with projects, and just giving us confidence. We had fun, we laughed, we learnt. Can't ask for much more really.